Hello there, I'm Nathalia Melo, your unfiltered fit BFF, mom of two turned CEO of a fitness empire. Someone who understands the struggles of trying to stay fit, sane, and sexy, all while juggling work, life, and motherhood. And this is the Unfiltered Fit Life podcast. Follow along wherever you're listening and join me weekly as I help busy working moms just like you simplify their fitness journey so they can lose weight, regain their confidence, and feel sexy AF. It's time to stop living in the what ifs and hiding from the cameras. It's time to regain control over your body, feel sexy naked, and wear a bikini confidently. People already see you as a super confident woman, but it's time for you to feel the same way too. Let's go. Hello there, fam. Welcome to another episode of the Unfiltered Fit Life podcast. I am Nathalia Melo, your host, and today I have a very special guest. And the reason for that is that she's also Brazilian. Actually, let me tell her story a little bit and then I'll say who it is. She has a degree in sports science. She's 2 times Miss Bikini Olympia, 4 times Arnold class champion, 13 times pro champion, and now she's a mom of 2 beautiful girls. Welcome, Angelica. What's up?
Thank you. Hey, so good to see you. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Oh no, thank you for agreeing. And I always wanted to do something like this with you, especially whenever you came to Dallas. It was right before you fell pregnant with your first
I was
daughter.
actually
You were already
but
pregnant,
I
I
didn't
think.
know. We were training and going heavy together, but yeah.
Living our best lives. I love it. And I love because I feel like there is a lot of things in the fitness space that we see eye to eye coming from the same background, being immigrants, being Brazilians. But before we get to that, can you tell us a little bit, how was it that you ended up on the stage to compete?
So when I was very young, Brazil, of course, where we
Mm-hmm.
from, the woman is very fit. They start training, like super young, and like in TV, they all show like those beautiful women with a super body. So I start like wanted to go to the gym very young. So I started like with 14 years old. I start going like group class, right? Because I could not start like lifting weights so young.
Was it body pump?
Yeah, it was kind of like body pump. Yeah.
No, that's how I started too
Ankle
at
weights
14.
and the dumbbells. So
Same.
when I was 18, that's when I started like lifting weights, and I never stopped. Then I went to college for this, start like being a personal trainer, a group class instructor. And when I came to US, first I had to, of course, start from the bottom because I had zero English. So I started working in a supermarket just to learn English. But after a little while, after I learned some English, that's when I started, working the gym here in US. And that's when I thought, like, you know what? I see Instagram, right? That's when Instagram came out, like it was a new thing. And I start seeing like women that competes, and I'm like, you know what? I'm almost there. I think I can do this. And my sister was the one like putting a lot of fire, like, hey, you can do this. Come on, you can do that. Send me all those women's pictures. I'm like, oh my God, they look amazing. And my goal was just to learn the secret. Everyone thinks, right,
Okay.
Natalia, there's a secret, there's a big
Secret.
secret. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I
Yeah,
got
yeah.
to learn that secret. And the secret was the diet, cardio,
Hard work
hard work,
and hard work.
Yes. But once I did one, I was like, you know what, now I'm addicted. I kept going and I could never stop.
I love it. And I love that you mentioned as well that you moved here and that you literally had to start from the bottom, which is a very similar story to mine with like being an immigrant.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to speak English, but I think that regardless if you speak English or not, you're starting from the bottom.
Yeah.
So how do you feel that being an immigrant has given you that edge
Yeah.
to accomplish big things in life?
I think, like being in a country that is not, like your country. And I felt that I had to be born again. It was almost like that because I could not speak. I had to be kind of like trying to communicate with my hands and pointing things.
Uh-huh.
So I think that it builds you a fire, like a fighter inside of you. You're like, you know
Mm-hmm.
what, if I can go through this, I can go through anything. Yes, that's how I felt, like once I start learning English, I'm like, you know what, I can accomplish anything I want. I thought I would never be able to speak English in my life, because it's a funny story, like really quick. When I was very young, first I always studied in a public school in Brazil, and I had friends that always
Uh-huh.
studied in a private school. In the private school they had great English class, right? But in the public school, no.
Questionable. I went to private school. The English was shit
Oh
too.
yeah,
Anyway,
but
keep on
for
going.
me it was
Yes.
better, like in the private school. So when I was like, I went to a grade, and I'm like, my mom said, you know what, I'm gonna put you in the private school. So when I got there, my first day was English class, and then the teacher start like, like, oh, the book is on the table, the book this, the book that, the book that, and I didn't know what book was. And everyone was kind of like really understanding everything. And I'm like, how am I going to understand this class if I don't even know what book is?
What book
Yeah.
is?
And then I'm like, hey, excuse me, I'm sorry, in Portuguese, of course. What
Yeah.
what is book? And everybody laughed. Everybody was laughing,
Left.
like, oh my God, she doesn't know what book is. Ah. I'm like, you know what? And then the teacher said, what? You don't know what book is? Instead of saying, oh, I'm sorry, I know you came from another
Oh,
school,
dick.
that's what it means. I'm sorry that, no, she made fun of me too. And I'm like, you know what? From
Oh,
now on, I'm gonna sit in the last seat, and I'm not, I know
yeah.
I'm never gonna learn English, and I hated English ever since. So when I moved here, because my husband came for work, I was like, oh my God, how I'm gonna do now? I'm gonna live there. So now I really need to learn. And when I saw
Yeah.
myself learning, in a natural way, oh my God, I was like, we can really accomplish anything in life.
I love that. I love that. You should like start sending to the bitch teacher that told you that you couldn't speak
I
English.
did.
Like you should gather all your interviews that you've done in like fluent
Yes.
English and be like, ha,
Ah,
suck
you
it.
see,
Ha.
look how far I have come. But I saw her in Brazil
Yeah.
when I went to visit, like years and years after living here. And I
Oh,
was like, I went to her and I started speaking English. I'm like, hey, teacher, you remember me? And she was like, huh? What? Okay. Like saying Portuguese. I'm like, no,
I
no, no, no,
love it.
English. I'm like, now I live in US, and look at me, look how far I have come. And she's like, oh my God, Angelica, congratulations. This is awesome. But of course I wasn't
Yeah.
me, but I just wanted to show her, that I finally
Yeah.
learned English.
Angelica is a better person than me. I'd be like, ha ha
Well, we can
ha.
we can say that. Yeah.
Today's not my day to be the bigger
I
person.
think
If
I'm
God wanted me to be,
nicer, a little nicer.
oh, you're definitely, yeah, yeah. My motto is that if God wanted me to be the bigger person, He would have made me 6 foot tall. I'm 5'5" for a reason.
Oh my God, that's funny. Well, you're taller than me, actually. So I'm 5'4".
See?
I'm 5'4". You 5'5"?
Okay.
Okay. Uh,
So so you moved here with your husband because of his work, and you've been with him for like 500 years, isn't
yes,
it?
yes.
I'm just kidding. But how
500.
long have you guys been together?
It's been now 21 years. Yeah. I was
So you're
18.
a high school sweetheart.
Yes, yes. I actually met him in high school. He was the very popular guy, like because we met very young. I was still like maybe 15 years old, 16 years old, and he was kind of like the success, at the school, the popular guy. Every girl was always like, oh my God. And even me, I was like, oh my God, here comes him. And he would never look at, my way. He was
Oh,
always like, because I was so young,
the
I was so
audacity.
skinny, I was super skinny. And then
Uh,
after a few years, of course, I grew up. And then he was like, and then he noticed me,
ooh,
and I'm like, oh,
I love
now, oh
it.
yeah. And then we started dating. I was 18, he was 20 years old. And together ever since. Yeah.
Okay, so it's not. I thought it was a bigger difference, but just 2 years.
Yeah.
But he's being a big support because I find one thing that I find a lot of times in competitions is that a lot of people that I see getting into competitions, they're running away from something.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they are, it's trying to patch up some missing part of other aspects of life. At least for me, I was missing purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have any relationship, but I felt like I was missing purpose.
Hmm.
And I feel like a lot of the ladies, whenever they have a partner, they get into competing because they're missing something else in their professional, personal career. And I find that your life, your core life with your relationship with your family, your relationship with your husband has remained unchanged despite your
Yeah,
success.
yeah. It's true. Yeah. I think the base that I had with my family, like my husband, he was, as you said, he was a big supporter. He was always with me. Like he really put all like his energy, on helping me achieve my dreams, like doing this. And also, like, I think the education that I had, like from my mom, from my dad, like my support family from, like my parents and my sisters, it's just it kept me grounded, like it didn't make like success go over my head. And I see a lot of people, like some,
Yeah.
like men and women, like once they start like being successful, they kind of like they don't want the partner that they have anymore. They want everything new,
Yeah.
they want to live the life like a different life. And I was just already so happy with everything that I had, and the success was just like a plus.
Yeah, I love that, and it's palpable. Like it's easy to see that. And another thing that I can tell that you had a good foundation because we were one of the, like, I was the first Brazilian to win the Olympia, and then I think you were the second.
Yes.
Was it you or was it Juliana?
Juliana was already a champion. Yeah, I thought you were talking about the bikini division, but yeah, yeah,
A bikini division, you were
yeah. I
second,
was
and then
second,
it
but
was
but
Isa.
Juliana Malacani, she won before me. So second, yeah, I was the third Brazilian to win the Olympia in January. Hmm.
Which is, it's like, it's whenever I think about it, I'm like, holy shit, like that is quite some accomplishment,
Yeah.
like it doesn't even feel sometimes that it's me, which is weird. But what I wanted to ask you is that we see Brazilians
Hmm.
on in fitness and in social media being very overly sexualized.
Yeah. Hmm.
Do you see that
I
too?
see that too. Yes. I think because like coming from Brazil, they all think about samba, small bikinis, like
Mm-hmm.
and the Brazilian butt, and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you all like, oh, you're Brazilian, but I think it's up to us to put that respect, like up front, like hey,
Mm-hmm.
I'm Brazilian, and also to change this image.
Yes. Do you think that that did you find that you had to kind of, I don't know if the word is extra hard, but work a little bit extra hard whenever it comes to the respect, because there is already the expectation that you're gonna do the more overly sexualized stuff, and you're gonna take the overly sexualized photos because of your nationality.
No, I don't think so. No, not for me,
Mm-hmm.
because I think I always brought my husband with me everywhere.
Ooh,
And I think, yeah, I think people would always be like, Angelica and her husband, like he was
yeah.
always with me everywhere since day one. So there was nothing that I think when they look at me, they already saw like, oh, okay, she's different. Like,
Yeah.
talking about in general, like, like anything that I
Yeah.
did like in my life.
Yeah. Marco was part of the
He
package.
was
It was
he was
Angelica
part
and
of the
Marco.
package. Yes. Uh-huh.
No,
Yes.
I
He's
love that.
he's
I
so
love
well
that.
known, like everyone in the industry, and everything that I did in life, he was always included. So talking about the fitness
Mm-hmm.
industry, everyone knows him. If they know me, they
Mm-hmm.
know him. And some
Mm-hmm.
seminars, he would, I would say, okay, I can come. Let's say international seminars. I'm like, okay, I can come, but it's not a country that I know, so I just feel comfortable if my husband can come with me, and then they would pay for him to come. And who take some
Mm-hmm.
days off at work and travel with me. So it was always like, okay, well, whatever Angelica does, we know that her husband is included.
There's a plus
Yeah,
one.
that's a
There is a
plus
plus
one.
one.
Uh huh.
Yeah, I love that. So I heard you saying in an interview before that before you won the Olympia, you was super fun.
It was super
You was
fun.
like, oh, you
Yeah.
no, yeah, like before you won the Olympia, it was super fun because you didn't have that target on your back.
Hmm.
And then after you win, there is that pressure that is added, and it's like, oh shit, like
Yeah.
now there is no dancing around anymore. Do you find that added pressure of being the champion and knowing that there is the target on your back, did you find that took a little bit of away of the fun?
It did. It did, yeah. I think once you are trying to achieve something, it's just fun. It's just like you have no big expectations, you know. You just try and you like you have nothing to tell anyone, like, you know, like you don't need to worry about,
Yeah.
you know, like, okay, if I do better, it's great. But if I don't, okay, I'm still getting there, you know. Once you get that title and you are on the top, you know, there's nowhere else to go. You already achieved, you know, the top. So you like you look up, you're already there. So it's just looking down and there's people coming, you know, like trying to get to your
Yeah.
place. So it's like first year was less, but I think after I won, you know, for the second time, that's when the pressure really hit me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I knew it was
Mm-hmm.
super hard to win once and super hard to win twice. And then for the third time, it was almost like I was doing something possible. You know what I mean? That's how I
Yeah.
felt with the bikini. I think with other divisions a little less, but with the bikini division, everyone's so similar. You know, it's so hard to judge because, like,
Yeah.
you know, someone has great glutes, the other one has great waist, the other one, but it's all, you know, it comes down to what they want, you know, that day. Like
Mm-hmm.
what really take, you know, like the judge size, and they go with it, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because on the top five, you know, competing like you did, the top five, they can kind of like choose whoever they want, right?
Yeah, like pick out of a hat and be
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, it looks like she's gonna win today."
Yeah, because like a bodybuilder is okay, they must muscular with more density, you know, with
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
like deep definition, you know, things like that. But with bikini, no, it's the whole package. Like, okay, I really like
Yeah.
it, her whole package today, you know. So it's really
Yeah.
subjective, and getting ready to defend my title again, like being 2 times Miss Bikini Olympia, I was like, oh my God, you know, like this is super tough. And then new girls coming, you know, like
Yeah.
and you know it gets to you a little bit, and then it's a lot of work too, because once you like 2 time Miss Bikini Olympia, you're traveling a lot. And I didn't compete for the whole year, so it was kind of like I didn't warm up for the Olympia, you know. So all those things made the pressure of coming up for the Olympia, you know, to try to defend my title one more time. That pressure was just so big last year, and it wasn't fun. The prep was super stressful. When you stress, your body
Mm-hmm.
don't respond the same way. We all know that,
Yeah.
you know, stress is really the enemy, you know, when you're trying to get in a perfect shape. So yes, I can definitely tell that the fun was gone, you know, by the
Mm-hmm.
end.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
That's funny that you say that because actually, before I say this, are you done competing?
I think so. It's not
Okay.
100% yet. I was even thinking about maybe coming back next year, but I think I done, you know, like everything that I wanted, you know, competing. I can tell that I won the Olympia twice, the Arnold Classic twice, the Arnold Australia twice, the Asia Grand Prix twice, and then all the pro shows that I won at the New York Pro, the Pittsburgh Pro, the biggest, you know. And
Yeah.
one thing that I wanted and I didn't do was to compete in Brazil in a pro show, because I competed there
Mm-hmm.
in a Arnold trying to get my pro card, and it was terrible. It was a
Mm-hmm.
terrible experience because they treat me like garbage, you know.
Same, same,
Yeah,
same, same.
because
I have never been invited for anything, and
yeah,
I'm like, motherfuckers, I'm the first one that won
this, yeah.
up in this bitch
Yeah,
up here,
but you know what?
and
Like
like,
your story is very similar to my story, you know. That's why I don't
mm-hmm.
know if everyone watching, you know, knows she inspired me, you know. So if I am, yeah,
Ah,
you know that. I told you that, yeah.
you
I
didn't?
did. I tell this in every interview. Who inspired you? I'm like, oh, Natalia. Like a lot of girls, you know, inspired me, but Nathalia Melo was the one that really inspired me. You know, your story
Oh,
is
you made
very
my day.
close to mine. Yeah, I told
Like,
you
no, I'm
that.
serious. I don't remember you
I took
telling me
a
that, but I,
line when I was a still amateur, like a big line when you were sponsored. You know, I was there like forever to talk to you, and I told you, "Oh, I'm competing." You're like, "Oh my God, that's awesome!" You gave me like it was so nice, and I'm like, "One day I'll be where you are," and you're like, "Of course you will, of course you will." And then you know, like it happened, yeah. But your
oh my
story
God, I
was
love this
very
so
close to
much.
my, yeah, yeah. You inspired me. And then we
Oh, I
became
want to cry.
friends. Yeah, yeah.
I know, I know, I know. And you know, like, I think I'm going to let you finish, but just one thing. I think that this is also a good example whenever we were talking about people that let fame get to their head and stuff like that, and that they don't appreciate the people that come to support their work.
Yeah.
Because at some point in my career, when I was doing well, you were the person standing in line
Yeah.
to take a photo, shake hands.
Mm-hmm.
And imagine if I had been a dick.
Yeah.
Imagine if
Yeah.
I had been, you know what I'm
Well,
saying? And
I
you
had
never
some
know.
that were like this. They were a dick, you know, and then they were like, after, you know, like, oh, nice to meet you. I'm like, oh, I know you already, you know. Like,
Yeah,
you know?
that one time that's one thing that I find. I'm like, it's not hard to not be an asshole. You know,
Yeah.
like if it's triggered, if somebody comes and is an asshole to you, you better believe I'm buckling up. But
Yeah.
the people who standing in line are the ones supporting your work.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
So tell me your story about Brazil.
So yeah, so my story was very close to yours, you know, like you were competing here with the NPC and me too, right? And then I was winning first place, and then I qualified for nationals, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna book my ticket. It was nationals in Miami that I was gonna do. And then like someone told me like, hey, look it up, because are you an American citizen? I'm like, no, I'm not, and you know, but I have a green card. And they're like, oh, so you cannot do nationals. I'm like, what? So what I'm gonna do? You know, I won like I qualified for nationals 3 times. I won 3 times. I won the overall, and then I cannot do nationals. They're like, no. So I, you know, I went to find out that you did not do nationals, that you won overall, and then the Brazilian Federation gave you your pro card, right?
The IFBB USA
Oh yeah.
did.
Oh.
They petitioned with the IFBB Brazil, the IFBB Brazil. I don't know who the fuck that is. So whatever. Like that's
Oh.
basically how it went down.
Okay, but you just got it because of the USA, right?
Yeah.
So it was the same with me, but I think the Brazilian Federation at that time I already told, hey, we cannot do that because you know, like there's more things that we need, because people in Brazil go through so much, and then you know, you cannot just win overall in US and then ask for your pro card. No. So once I won overall, I asked, and then I sent a letter to the NPC, and they said, oh, you know, like I think if you win a few overalls, maybe Brazil can give you your pro card. And I'm like, okay, how many? Like, oh, 3. And then I'm like, okay. So I went, you know, in a search, you know, like in that, you know, journey to get the overalls. And then I got 3 overalls. And they say, no, I got 4. And they say, oh, no, 1 he didn't count because it was a small show. So you need 1 more. I'm like, so I went and won 2 more, you know, like in the biggest show in New York and also in New Jersey. And then I sent the letter, and they're like, oh, now that you got 6 overalls, now you need to come and compete in Brazil. And I'm like, oh, really? But you say just winning overalls, and I've been doing this for 2 years, you know? And they're like, no, okay, but how are you going to represent Brazil if you never competed with the NPC or with Brazil, with the Brazilian Federation? And then I was like, well, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. And they were like, oh, the Arnold's coming up, so I'm inviting you to come and compete at the Arnold because you needed to be invited. And I'm like, okay, I'll come and compete. And then I told the federation here, right, in the US, and they're like, okay, awesome. But they went back and they're like, you know what? There's more things that you need to do to be invited for an Arnold. And I have already bought my ticket to Brazil, you know, at that time. And I'm like, what? You invited me? And then the federation, like the US Federation, contact them like, what is this? Like, hey, come on. You asked for 4 overalls, she got 4 overalls. You asked for 1 more, she got 6. And now you want her to go compete.
Yeah.
You invite her for the Arnold. And now you say, no, you're not inviting. Well, she already bought her ticket. She needs to go. And they're like, okay, so all right, you can come. But when I got there, I was like, you know what? It was better if I didn't go. Everyone look at me like this, you know, like the organization, right? So I went for
they
check-in.
probably hated you.
They hated me. Like they put their eyes on me, and they were already like this, like. And then I came,
and she's lost. And she's lost.
Place. You know, I got there. I was a little late because it was so hard to find the place. Everything in Brazil was so hard for me. It was a while that I didn't go there, right? So I got there a little late, but you late. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I know I'm 20 minutes late, but you know, like I'm still here. You know, it was, oh my God, it was such a journey to get here. And they're like, doesn't matter. Like this, you know, like it doesn't matter. This is
like
not
people are on time in Brazil. Like people are on time in Brazil.
Never.
Like what?
Never. Yeah. So they were like, okay, so all right, we're gonna do this, but you have 10 minutes. Go put your suit. I'm like, oh, put my suit, because here they didn't make us, you know, like put the suit anymore to see the bikini. But there, they wanted to see the bikini, how it fits. And I'm like, okay, I have him with me. Like, thank God, because they didn't let me know that I needed to
Don't tell
bring
me that they
everything.
told you that your bikini was not good enough.
And then they said, oh, no, that bikini is too small. And I'm like, what? But this is the bikini that I compete, like, they like, doesn't matter. Like, this is Brazil. This is not US. So you have another bikini. Oh, okay, I have this one, my old one that I use just to practice posing. Okay, that
Yeah.
one you can, because they saw that the crystals was already, like
Popping
jumping,
out.
popping out, Okay, you can use that one. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, wow, all right. Like, okay, raise your heels. I'm like, here, it's too high. I'm like, but this is the one I have. This is the one I use. The NPC. Well, go to a shop and buy shoes, like regular shoes. I'm like, what? I'm like, okay, I also have this one that I use to practice posing. I'm like, okay, that one you can. All dirty, all,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
well, end of
Yeah.
story. The date of the show, they put me to do makeup last. I'm like, oh, but why I'm
Uh-huh.
last? I'm like, because you were the last one to give your name. I'm like, okay. So when I said to do my makeup, they start calling like, hey, it's time, come on, it's time. They were like, I'm like,
You went
what?
with no makeup on?
And then they say that, I'm like, are you sure? I'm like, wow, they say they still had like 1 hour and a half. Like, I'm going to do it really quick. Like, if you don't stand up now and come, you're not going to compete. I'm like, oh my God, please just put some mascara, like I just put
So
some
you had no
mascara.
makeup
I
at
have no
all?
makeup, and I just put like some things and the mascara, no makeup. Thank God I had a great skin at that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had great
Oh
skin at
my.
that time, but no makeup. And then I was standing in line forever, and I'm like, this is like bullshit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was
Oh,
standing
you
in
can say
line.
bullshit here.
Yeah. Oh, and here I can,
Yeah.
right? This is bullshit.
Yeah.
It feels
Yeah.
good. It feels good. It feels good.
Yeah. See? See?
See, there's a
A little bit of
reason.
Natalia spice is good for
It's
the
good.
soul.
It's good. Feels good. I'm telling you. So, end of story. I went on stage with no makeup, but I gave, like my show. Of course, I love the stage. I pretend that nothing happened, and I
Yeah.
came and I rocked the stage. I still placed third, even though they
Wow.
wanted me to place last, but they couldn't, because I looked
Yeah.
really good even without makeup.
Yeah. That's crazy.
But let's just say that this was the old Brazilian Federation. This is the IFBB elite now. It's not the federation that we compete here, because after that, that was one of the reasons for the split. When the
Uh-huh.
IFBB Pro League split with the IFBB
Yeah.
Brazil, and then
Mm-hmm.
also in Europe, and then they became, and here in US too, they became IFBB elite, and now we have the NPC in Brazil. That's
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
everything changed for the
That's
Brazilians,
good.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Angelica. Now that that you're like, okay, I think I'm done. I think I'm done. Has there ever been a moment that you thought and you're like, I think I'm done,
I'm done with
like a hundred
competing.
percent? Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, there is a few moments when my babies, when
Yeah,
I get so
yeah.
busy with babies, and then they trying to feed me, and I'm like, how am I ever gonna compete again? Like, there's no
But
way.
that's okay. That's my question for you, because that's something that I see a lot of times. These women, they're just basically like, and that's something that I ask a lot of the guests that we've had in this podcast that are former competitors at the highest level, like Ali Lewis, Flex Lewis's wife. I had Diana Dogring. I had Felicia Romero. She's before your time competing, but Felicia was a top competitor as well in figure. And can you imagine trying to prep for a show, follow that same protocol, the hours of cardio, the walking around in a Ziploc bag while juggling a career and children and a husband? Can you imagine
Yeah,
doing that right
yeah.
now?
It's too much on my plate right now. It's just, like having kids is another level. Having one is a lot, and then having two back to back, like I did, they both in
Mhm.
diapers. They
Mhm.
both
Mhm.
depend on me. So one is 20 months old, the other one is 7, and it's crazy. It's just crazy. So just to be
That's
able
the
to
same
go
age
to
gap
the
as
gym,
ours.
yeah, when I go to the gym, I don't want to stress about, oh my God, my tying needs to show right here. No, I don't want to stress about my tying showing. I want to de-stress in the gym, you know what I mean? So I don't want
Yes.
to be
Yeah.
stressed about, like, okay, I look good, but I'm not enough, it's not enough. It's not enough.
Yeah.
I want to just to feel good about myself, with, like, because I'm a mom, and well, I look good. I don't want to look
Yeah.
perfect, things like that. That's why I think I don't want to compete anymore, because it's just my time now that my priorities of number one, my kids, and then number two, my work, because I need to work too. I don't have all those sponsors anymore. When I was winning, when I was Miss Olympia, and honestly, I think if I go back competing, I cannot get to the level that I were. Not because I'm not gonna
Yeah.
look the same. I think, thank God, my body responded really well to pregnancy. Like I already,
Hmm.
I'm already like lower. My weight is lower than what
Yeah.
I was before, and I
Yeah.
really think that I was blessed because I did not lose so much mass. So I really feel good,
Yeah.
and I think I can bring a physique that would impress. That would be even fun. But I think the
At what
reason,
cost? At what
yeah,
cost?
yeah, like I need to work. Like right now, I don't think I'll get to that top. Like I'm not gonna win again, like the Olympia, let's say.
Yeah.
So why I'm gonna go back if I'm already two-time Miss Bikini Olympia? People already
A hundred
know me
percent.
like that, and then I go back and I don't do well, and then it would be this be good for me? I don't think so, and then my kids will suffer because then I'll have to sacrifice time with them to be in the gym forever, or to like not go out with them because if I go out, I need to bring all my food with me, things
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah. And even like, I don't care what anybody says, and I don't even know if you agree. There is a level of obsessiveness that I appreciate, that the discipline that it requires to compete at the level that we competed, it's something that kids can learn from. But with that
Yeah,
being said, as somebody who was raised by a mom who was constantly on a diet and always doing some kind of fat diets that, in Brazil they're everywhere,
yeah,
I don't know if that level of obsession around food, in that relationship with food, is something that I would want my kids to replicate.
yeah. That's true. That's true. Yeah, nothing too strict would be good for them, right now. Like, hey, mom cannot eat this, but why? This is a strawberry. Like, why you
Yeah.
cannot eat a strawberry? Because
Yeah.
whatever I eat, my kids eat. Like, the youngest, of course, is still starting eating now, so she eats like
Yeah.
soft foods. But Alisa, she's 20 months. She eats eggs and oats in the morning and fruits,
Mhm.
and then she eats broccoli, asparagus, and rice and
Yeah.
beans, and then
Mhm.
protein, chicken or ground beef. She eats
Yeah.
whatever I eat. And then if I start telling her, oh no, I cannot have orange, oh no, I cannot have, she'll just copy me. So
Yeah.
you're right. That's something that it didn't even come to my mind, while thinking about it, because But you're right. Like this
Yeah.
would be something negative for them.
Yeah, that's something that I think often, especially because I think it was about a month or so ago, I spoke with a lady that had 4 kids, had like 3 businesses, was starting a 4th business. And then she's like, I want to compete. And I'm like, why? Why?
Yeah.
And she already had like gained a good amount of weight, because the only ways she knew how to lose weight was with the very extremes from competing.
Hmm.
And she gained some weight and she almost had a mental breakdown. And then whenever she started to see the light in the end of the tunnel, she's like, I am going to compete. And I'm like, why would you do that?
Yeah. If it's not to help you, like professionally, or like to give you like something, if it's not gonna help you, why do it? Like, but I,
Yeah,
I feel that some people get addicted. They need that
I agree.
feeling. They need that feeling of being on stage. They need that feeling of being evaluated for the judge. Like, hey,
Yeah,
oh, they like me. Wow, they like
yeah,
my physique. Wow, everyone say that I look great. Because once you get so shredded, you're gonna get a lot of compliments, but nobody knows what happens a week after the show, right? When the body changes, because it's not healthy to keep like the physique for everyday life.
a
So I
hundred
think people
percent.
get like so addicted to being so shredded, and then people like, wow, you look amazing, wow, look at you, wow, you kind of like stand out, but and then 1 week, 2 weeks after the show, you don't stand out anymore, and then they want that feeling again.
and then they don't want to go get out of the house, and then they don't think that they're enough, and then it starts to impact their relationships because
Yeah.
all their friends know them as the person with the six-pack, but now they don't have a six-pack, so are they even worthy of going out with their friends? There's so much
Yeah.
that goes into it. So let me ask this, Angelica, because we accomplished something that whenever you put in the grand scheme of things, it's like, shit, like my name is going to be there forever. Like it doesn't matter what happens, our name is going to be on that paper saying that we won the Olympia forever. And that's something that I ask myself. And I'm like, shit, what is it that I have that allowed me to accomplish that other people don't have? And I'm not saying this in a cocky way or anything. I'm like, because I find that I'm a very normal person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
What
I
do you
am too.
think? Yeah, and you are too. So, and what do you think that has set us apart or set yourself apart that have allowed you to accomplish something like that?
I think first, like as you say, being like an immigrant, and gives you that the fire, like inside of you to achieve things. I think that was something that set me apart because people that had the same goal as me were not fighting so much for it. Were not showing so much passion. I think since the beginning I was showing so much passion. The passion was there. I was showing everyone that I spoke, they could see, wow, this girl, she's serious about it. When she wants
Mm-hmm.
something, she goes for it. And I think that what made me like really like try all ways, to get to where I wanted to be. Like one goal, I never look like in like for unreal goals, like for like it was always like step by step for me. So
Mm-hmm.
my goal was first to win, like in the amateur show, and then my goal was to win overall, and then my goal was to get my pro card, and then my goal was to qualify for the Olympia, and then my goal was to place top 5 at the Olympia, and then my goal was to win the Olympia. So it was like
Mm-hmm.
step by step. So I think first being like having like like not dreaming beyond, not dreaming
Yeah.
dreaming beyond. So
Taking one day
slowly,
at a time.
one day at a time, one goal at a time. And showing, because there was so many rocks on my way, and showing like everyone, like the judge, the federation, the industry, that I was coming, like I wasn't gonna give up. It was super hard for me. I had to do 20 shows just to get my pro card. So once I got my pro card, everyone knew, like there is the girl that never gives up. Like everyone knew
Mm-hmm.
me. The judge knew me, the federation knew me. Oh, the federation everywhere knew me. Like in Brazil, like everywhere. So it was like, okay, we're gonna have to go with her because she don't want to give up. So I think that was one thing. And also once you get there, I think to win a title of Miss Olympia is more than just having a great physique. It's more,
Mm-hmm.
like it's the whole package. You also got to be able to represent, right? You
Mm-hmm.
got to be able, it's like winning the universe, US, like
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
pageants, like you have to go to events, you have to represent, you have to show not just US, but the world. And I think because I was an immigrant, it even helped me because it was kind of
Yeah.
like, wow, she's not even from US and she's winning. So anyone from the world, she came from a small town in Brazil and she won,
Mm-hmm.
and now
Yep.
she's doing interviews. She has a broken English, but she's still doing it. So it's kind of like the
Mm-hmm.
American dream for the whole world.
Mm-hmm.
So I think was the whole package. Yeah.
I would 100% agree with that, especially whenever you talk about the not giving up.
Yeah.
I think because, and I can say this because we both come from the same country. I think that it gives you really a different perspective because in Brazil, at least where I'm from, and I assume that where you're from as well, you can work as hard as you want, but if you do not know the right people and you do not already come from some level of money, it's
Yeah.
very hard for you to get to that next level.
Yeah.
And then whenever you
That's true.
come to the US, it literally the sky is the limit.
Yeah.
If you're willing to put in the work, you can go from, being a janitor like I was, cleaning restaurants at night, cleaning bathrooms,
Hmm.
to winning the biggest bodybuilding competition in the world and traveling the world doing seminars to hundreds, if not thousands of people.
Yeah.
That is not something that is even like in your reality whenever you're in Brazil, because people who are doing things like that are in such a different environment from you that
Yeah.
you can't see it.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I went from working in a supermarket to, okay, I went finally, like to do what I studied to, like to work in the gym. But it didn't matter. It didn't matter my background. Nothing mattered. Like I could achieve my dreams just by not giving up, honestly,
Yeah.
just by finding. It didn't matter
Mm.
like who was my father, who was my mom, if they had money or
Mm-hmm.
not, because that mattered
Yep.
in Brazil, like,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
who are
What
your
your last
family?
name is?
Who are
Yeah.
your family? Like even more in
Uh-huh.
a small town. Oh, who is your
Yep.
dad? Who is your mom? What they do?
Yep.
Like what kind of
Yep.
job they do? Like it
Mm-hmm.
didn't matter when I came here. It was all on me to make it happen.
100%,
Yeah,
a zillion percent.
yeah.
That's exactly how I felt, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I dropped out of law school. Now that I think about it, is like I'm not like it's going to be very hard for me to make it. I don't come from a family that is known. I don't have the last name that is traditional in the law space. So, like, what am I doing?
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. I went to law school. I dropped out halfway through. I was halfway through, and then I dropped out, and I'm like, peace. Sold my car and
Yeah,
came to the U.S.
peace. Yeah. Oh, okay. In Brazil. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, how do you think that motherhood has changed your fitness or your approach to fitness?
Well, before being a mother was when I was competing, right? So fitness was a job. It was a job. It was
Mm-hmm.
like, like I went to the gym. It was like, okay, I'm working. So it wasn't something that was so enjoyable, like, and then after
Mm-hmm.
I became a mother, the gym is the outlet, the gym is the
Yes,
therapy. It's like, it's my time. It's me. Like it's a me time. It's the only time that I'm doing something for me only,
me.
like I'm doing something to better myself right here. Like all that
Mm-hmm.
matters right now is me, because when
Mm-hmm.
I'm home, it's never about me anymore. I'm
Yeah,
the last one to eat, I'm the last one to sleep, I'm the last one to rest. I never put my legs up anymore. It's like, and it doesn't
yeah,
matter. I'm happy, I just want them to be happy. But
yeah,
when I'm in the gym now, it's not. I don't want to stress. I don't want to think about, wow, like, wow, I have some cellulites here. Oh no, I'm not. I'm going home and I'm gonna change because why did I put shorts? No, I look at the cellulites and I'm like, well, I look damn good, because I'm a mother of
yes,
two, and well, I have some cellulites and I have some fat in my belly, but whatever. I'm
yeah,
really hot. I'm a hot mom. So
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
nothing changed this mindset, like, I just come to the gym and I have fun now. It's fun.
It's interesting that you say that because that is something that I noticed as well after I had kids. Funny story. I don't know if this happened to you, but I found that after I competed, and then it was the after show. I didn't take photos.
Hmm.
I didn't I didn't want to take pictures unless I was ready. It
Yeah,
was like 2 weeks
yeah.
before a show or 2 weeks after a show. Even 2 weeks after a show, dicey. 1 week preferably. I wouldn't go to the beach with my friends. I didn't want to be seen. I had like the fat closet and the skinny closet. The fat closet was just like pants that were 3 sizes bigger. And
Oh,
I tried to find pictures of myself from that time just living. I can't find it.
oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, no, I was gonna tell that that happened to me after my first season. You know,
Uh-huh.
that's when I experienced the rebound weight gain that I didn't know they
Mhm.
existed because I was always so skinny my whole life.
Mhm.
I was always in shape, and younger I was too skinny. And then
Mhm.
I gained, I started training very young because always felt skinny, and then I started, building, muscle. And then when I start competing, I got skinny again, but with muscle, of course. But for me, I was
Yeah.
too skinny competing. And then after my first season, I was desperate to gain weight because it was always in my mind, what came from, like when I was younger, that, oh my God, too skinny, I never
Yeah.
liked it that. So I'm like, okay, now time to gain weight. But of course, I wanted to eat cakes and chocolate. And
Mhm.
I was eating every 3 hours, but all the junk food, Like in
Yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
mind, I was still like, the competitor mentality. Oh, I need to eat every 3 hours. Cake.
Yeah.
Okay, there's been three
Cake.
hours.
Cake it is.
Ice cream. Okay, I need to wait 3 more hours for chocolate, and then 3 more hours for a burger and fries. I promise I was doing that after my first season. And then I gained 20 pounds in 1 week. And I was like, what's going on? And then 2 weeks went by, and I'm like, I never had fat in my abs, and I start holding that fat, and I'm like, that's no possible. How did I gain like fat in my abs in 2 weeks? And then I was like, and then I start researching, because nobody told me about the rebound weight gain.
Nope. Mm-mm.
No, now it's a thing. Now everyone I talk about, like with my clients, I'm like, make sure, like after the show, let's reverse dieting, let's reverse
Mm-hmm.
diet. But at that time, reverse
No, it
diet did
was
not
it's just
exist.
like
Like,
off you
okay,
go.
go have some
Goodbye.
fun. Yeah, well, let
Yeah.
me know when you want to prep again.
Yeah.
And then, after I competed, I felt free.
Yeah.
Like finally, and I have great genetics. I'm never gonna gain like fat. I'm just gonna look better and look hotter,
Same.
and look like
Same.
really hot. Wow, that was not hot at all. I was
At
skinny
all.
with skinny legs and a skinny glutes, but with a big belly, uncomfortable and fat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and holding water, and then my legs got all swelling, and I'm like, my
The
God, what's
edema.
going on? Yeah. And then that's when I realized. I started researching. I found a few things. I spoke to a few people that had competed before. They're like, "Oh my
Yeah.
God, I'm so sorry you didn't know about that." Yeah, there's
Yeah.
this, there's the rebound, and that's what you're experiencing. And I'm like, okay, back to the diet. So I went back to the diet and
Yeah.
started slowly, like just eating clean things and changing my diet, but choosing like clean foods and not eating those cakes anymore. I cut all the
Yeah.
junk. And wow, that was so hard.
Yeah. I had to leave my house because I bartended at the time, but you wouldn't sit like I lived in Fort Lauderdale. My friends would invite me to go to the beach, and I'm like, no, I'm busy. No, I wasn't
Yeah.
busy. I just didn't want to be seen in a bikini.
Yeah.
Now with kids, you cannot keep my clothes on.
Yeah.
I am in a bikini everywhere. Take photos, 50 of them, more,
Yeah, but
more.
wow, you look
Be-
amazing. You should.
oh,
You
thank you.
look
But
like it's
thanks.
amazing.
But I find that is more like that freedom that
The
I like.
freedom.
There
Yeah.
there is nothing to like. There is some skin
Yeah.
hanging. There is
Yeah.
a bit of cellulite. My butt's not as tight. I don't give a fuck. Like
Yeah.
because I feel like I created two humans. I'm doing the
Yeah.
best that I can with the time that I have, and I'm proud.
Yeah, exactly.
And I
Yeah.
think that that's the thing when you compete. It's always the more.
Yeah.
You're never
Yeah.
proud with what you have.
And you're always being judged. It's really hard.
Yes.
You're always being judged. It's like if you're on stage, you're being judged by the judge. Of course, you already, you signed a contract, right? When you're going
Yes.
to compete. But you don't know that you're going to be judged for everyone. Like everyone is
Yes.
judging you even more when we compete at the level that, like we competed. Like not
Mm-hmm.
just the judge us, they also watch us, even the judge, they kind of watch us during off season because now
Yeah.
it's Instagram, right? So
Yeah.
everyone sees what you're doing, and you feel that wow, they see, like oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
I don't look really good. What the judge gonna think? It's in your
Mm-hmm.
mind. Maybe it's not even the judge's mind, but it's in your mind. But wow, what all the people that follow me that inspire them, what they gonna think? Like wow, if I show here like out of shape, people gonna judge me. Like
Yeah.
everyone's going to judge me. So
It
you feel
happened to me.
judged all the time.
Oh, it happened to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if it happened to you. I'm going to tell a story that happened to me and tell me if you've had this experience. So I arrived for a demo appearance. I worked for a supplement company at the time. And you need to remember, this is like, what year was your first Olympia?
The first Olympia that I competed or that I won?
Yeah,
That
that
I
you competed.
competed, 2015.
Okay, so I had already retired. I was about to get pregnant then, but
Yeah.
we're going back like 2009, 2010. And
Mhm.
then I was doing a demo for a supplement company that I worked with. And then they encouraged us to bring the magazines we had been in and all that kind of stuff. So I'm there with my magazine. And then this asshole comes in and he's like, that is not you.
Yeah. It happened to
I'm
me,
like,
of course.
he has?
Oh yeah, yeah. In a expo, when I was after I had Lisa, I was pregnant with Tyler, but nobody knew. I knew, but it was, like early, like before the 3 months, mark. And I didn't announce. And so I was with a loose shirt. And of course, I was already, like holding more weight on me. But they
Yeah.
put like a big poster behind me, like all like the best I ever looked, on the poster, like
Yeah.
the big photo. And like I had like two guys, like, one
Always.
came and like, is that you? No, that's not you. And then look at me like from head to toe, like,
Yeah.
that's not you. Like, how did you go from looking like that to looking like this? I'm like, oh, you're
He
so
said that?
disrespectful. Yes. Uh-huh.
He
I say, this
said
is so
that?
mean. Uh-huh. I'm like, this is so mean to say. I'm like,
Oh
do,
my
do you
God.
know, that I have like that I'm a mom? I had a baby after that picture. And you don't even know if I'm pregnant. I told him, But I'm always nice. I should
Yeah,
have a
you're
little bit
I
of
would be in
Natalia
jail.
in me. Yeah,
I would be in fucking
I
jail.
should have a little bit of Natalia in me. And I was like, you don't even know if I'm pregnant, but smiling. Like, how do you say that? And he was like, oh no, I'm sorry, you still look good. No, don't get me wrong, but it's so different. I'm like, okay, I got
Different.
it. I got it.
Oh my, like,
And I'm like,
oh,
hey,
you
this was one day after competition. This is real life. This is like nobody looks like this. The pictures that you see, I told him, the pictures that you see, it's like right after a competition. It's for that goal, and then we do those pictures, and that's it. We do the pictures because we want to keep that forever because it's just like one day
and
thing.
gone.
Yeah, and gone.
It's funny you say that because once I had a lady come to me, she wanted to train with a long time ago. And she actually became my client, I think was last year. And then she told me, she's like, oh, I'm the person that came and did that. I'm like, stop it. Anyway, so she comes to me and she has a magazine that I was on the cover. And then she's like, I want to look like this. And I'm like,
Wow.
dude, so do I. So do I.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
think that that's the problem. Like, I love social media, and social media has been a big piece of my success, your success as well, and
yeah,
staying out there. But I find that it is a curated version of the things that you do and your life. And obviously, you're not going to be airing your dirty laundry on social media and it being
yeah,
like posting photos of yourself like a hot mess express.
yeah,
But there needs to be some kind of like, with people watching, that they need to understand that what they see is just the perfect snapshots of people's lives,
yeah.
people's bodies.
Yeah. It's just the perfect day that you choose, and then you take that picture, and that's it. Like nobody looks perfect every day. It's not like that.
Hmm.
That is a dream.
Hmm.
That is not achievable. That's not achievable.
But with that being said, though, Angelica, I have found, and I don't know if it's true to you. So I have found, like for example, right now I'm like 1 pound away from my competition weight.
Now, not from my competition weight, but from my off season that I was always like, if I want to do a prep for 10 weeks, that is the weight that I am now. After two babies.
But you just had a baby, like it was
seven
what, a
months.
year,
Yeah,
7 months ago.
7 months.
So
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's a bit different. But I think that as you start to find your footing with juggling two very small kids, it's so weird. And without the obsession, you still go out to have dinner, you still have wine, you still have cake, and you do all the things.
Yeah.
But without,
The
you don't
stress and
have the six pack. Yes, and you don't have
yeah.
the six pack as an end goal. You have just, I don't care. I'll
And
eat ice cream and
it's
whatever.
so funny. Yeah. That was funny.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it's so funny, Natalia. It's being like I used to, like, if I eat a little something, I always see in my body, oh my God, I'm holding water
Mm.
because I ate a piece of chocolate, you
Yeah.
know? And then if I ate like a half burger, oh my, with my
Yep.
husband, next day the scale would go up like 3 pounds. Every weekend the
Mm-hmm.
scale would go up. If I was, let's say, off season, because I'm still stressing, oh no, I cannot let my weight go up. I still gotta look good, I still gotta look, I gotta stay right here. If I go enjoy a weekend free, Monday my scale would go like 5 pounds up. Now I can eat whatever, and my weight don't go up. It's funny
Yeah.
that you say that. It's happening to me. It's like I eat, I enjoy, I have balance. It's nothing
Mm-hmm.
crazy. I don't want to binge, of course, but I enjoy.
Yeah.
I go out. I drink wine. I eat a pizza. I don't stress that I'm not having all the protein that I need, that day,
Yeah.
things like that. And then next day, on the Monday, I'm like, let me see how much I weigh. It's the same weight. It's like,
Same. Uh-huh. And even if it is like it goes up on that Monday, like my weight will fluctuate like after a weekend. Might go up, and literally on Monday evening, I'm
yeah,
actually lighter than I was on Monday morning. And
yeah,
I hardly ever weigh myself because I'm just like, yeah, I look good. Put a bikini on, and I'm like, okay, I can live
yeah.
with this.
Once
But
you
it's just
feel
a
good, you
feeling
don't
of
need to.
freedom.
Yeah, yeah. Once you feel good with your body, like in your own skin, you don't need to have the answer for a scale. Like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you will go up maybe 1 pound, like you said, like a little bit. You used to go up like five
Mm-hmm.
pounds every weekend. So if it
Mm-hmm.
goes up 1 pound, and I'm like, doesn't matter, I feel
Yeah.
good. And the next day it's
Yeah.
down, that 1 pound's gone,
Yeah.
and you feel good. So
I do think that the scale is a good measuring tool, especially for people who are not as body aware as we would be. Like our
yeah.
body was our tool of work for a long time, but I find that I don't even like the idea of weighing yourself every single day. I'm like, no, I'll go batshit crazy if I weigh myself every day.
Yeah, there's no need to wait every day. Maybe once a week,
Yeah,
if you're trying to progress, right?
accomplish a goal.
Yeah, to accomplish a goal. If you have like, I want to lose some weight, I want to look, like a little better for a reason. Maybe once a week, so you see that you're moving, in the right direction. But every day is
Hmm.
crazy. It's like it gets
Yeah,
you like paranoid because your weight can fluctuate like depending on anything. Like if you're gonna
yeah.
have your period, if you ate something more salted, things like that will make
Mhm.
your weight like fluctuate.
I love that. So, Angelica, I'm going to close this with a question. It's kind of based on something that I already asked you, but just you've accomplished something that is incredibly high level. That a lot of people are like, "Oh my goodness, how do you do that?" If you could give an advice to a woman who wants to take her life to that next level, not necessarily competing, but just take her life to the next level, be that with her fitness, her career, her personal life, what would be your advise as somebody who has accomplished something that is in the highest level?
Well, to get there, to achieve that dream, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, first, put that dream, put that, like that's something that you want, put that as a priority.
Mhm.
So I know it's hard when you're like me right now, I have kids. So I don't think that would never be possible after having kids. So thank God I did before because
Yes.
it needs to be your number one every day. If you want something, you need
Mhm.
to wake up and say, that's what I want. And then you're going
Mhm.
to have to work your day towards something that it's not going to happen now. You're going to have to be patient. So if you want
Mhm.
something, be patient, but keep working every day. You need to like one step forward, until you get there. So you cannot never stop moving toward that dream. If you feel that you're stuck any day, you need to find a way to move around and keep going.
Mhm.
So that for anything that you want to achieve in life, being like winning the biggest competition or getting like the job that you want, whatever you want, there will be rocks on your way. So
Mhm.
people, I feel that some people want something really bad, but they give up too easy. Like, you know what?
Mhm.
It's too hard. No, everything is
Yeah.
hard. Everything.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. Everything that is worth it, it's hard. If it
Yeah.
wasn't, you'd not even be dreaming about it.
Mhm.
Because
Mhm. Mhm.
things that are easy, it's not something that you're gonna be dreaming about it. It's hard. Like, life is
Mhm.
hard and achieving goals and dreams are really hard. So make sure that you don't give up. You're gonna fall down, feel like you can't do this anymore, but stand right back up and keep going. And then again, keep going. That's my advice.
Oh my god, I love this so much. I honestly, I yes, because that is true. Like people are tripping on pebbles along the way, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, it's hard, and I'm like, well, yeah, like
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, if it's
yeah,
worth it, it should be hard, right?
yeah. And
Yeah,
it's kind of like, but and it's like the meme that is going around on social media. It's like, well, getting in shape is hard, but also being overweight is hard.
it's hard. Yeah.
Being healthy is hard, but so is being sick.
Yeah,
So
that's
you
true.
just kind of have to pick the heart that you're willing to put up with.
Yes, yes, that
I
is true.
love that.
Hmm.
Okay, what are you cooking up now? What is going on in Angelica's life right now at this time, and what is next?
Okay, so right now I'm really focused on coaching. I have
Mm-hmm.
just joined the biggest competition team in US. It's a Fit Body
Mm-hmm.
Fusion, and it's been
Mm-hmm.
amazing. It's not just a competition team; it's also for lifestyle. So I have
Mm-hmm.
like I have been building my roster. Like getting a lot of
Mm-hmm.
more clients, and this is being like
Mm-hmm.
putting all my passion to fitness to my
Yeah, to
clients.
work.
Yeah, to
Mm-hmm.
work. So making them
Mm-hmm.
achieve things that I have achieved it for myself right now. So it's been amazing. It's been like giving me a purpose in life.
Yeah. Oh, I love that you say this. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's how I feel too.
yes. I think we can relate
Yeah.
on, a few things, and this is something that we can, because we
Yeah.
have achieved it for ourselves, and now we want to help people achieve. So it's something that sometimes like, okay, I have a nice body. I'm happy where I am, but I need more. This more
Yeah.
now is having the clients and helping them achieve it. It kind of like
Yeah.
fulfills me. Other things is just family,
Mm-hmm.
family, and that's all for now. And
How
also
is Marco doing?
he's doing great. He's doing great.
He's doing
He's
great.
working
Good.
a lot too, and helping me. He's
Mm-hmm.
such a great husband and father.
Yeah.
He's amazing. Like he's such a hard worker, with his work, and then he gets home,
Uh,
he takes care of me, he takes care of the girls. So yeah,
I love
yeah,
that.
he's really
I love
amazing.
that. I found that my level of appreciation for my husband and love for my husband really transformed when I watched him be a dad.
Yeah, same. Some
Yeah.
some woman told me like, oh, some woman after they become pregnant and they have babies, they kind of like it's dangerous because you can become like not love your husband anymore. And I'm like,
I
what? I'm like, what?
yeah,
And then like I got pregnant and I loved my husband even more. And then
more.
I had babies. And then I loved him even more because then I saw the other side of him. Super
Yes.
sweet, taking care of the girls, helping me, worrying about them and giving them
Yeah.
bath and changing like so I'm like,
Yeah.
it's just growing. The love is just growing.
I 100% agree. Well, Angelica, thank you so much. What is where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram,
Okay.
Angelica HT, Angelica Hoffman Teixeira, but just the initials, Angelica HT. And
Uh-huh.
what else? That's all. That's all. I have
That's
Facebook,
all?
but honestly, I don't use Facebook. I'm sorry, guys.
Okay. That's
Everything
okay.
goes to Facebook. You can follow me there, Angelica Teixeira. But everything that I post on Instagram goes straight to Facebook, but I don't even know what's going on there. It's too much.
Something is happening there.
I don't like I don't know if it's the same, Natalia, but it's too many outlets, too much
Platforms.
social media, too many platforms now, and
Yeah.
no, I can't.
I can't keep up.
I'm good with Instagram, and that's it.
Same,
Yeah.
same, same. Thank you so much, Angelica. Now everything is going to be on the show notes. I really appreciate your time. The conversation has been incredible, and
I
and
love,
it's super
yeah,
cool to have this kind of conversation with people that you can relate in so many layers.
yeah,
So thank
yeah.
you.
Thank you for having me. You are amazing. I told you that before, and keep inspiring us. Okay, so good to be
Oh,
here in your
likewise.
Yeah, so good to be here in your podcast, and just wish you, like all the success. And, I know the sky's the limit for you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. But let me ask you, what was your aha moment in today's episode? I would love to know. You can leave me a comment or voice message at the link in the show description. You can also follow me on Instagram and let me know what topics you want to hear more about or who I should have on the show. As for today, this is it for today, guys. I'll see you back next week for another episode of the Unfiltered Fit Life podcast.